Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Now, let's look at some of the stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepker and I'm joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
So a jump for Richemont shares, signs of a broader luxury rebound perhaps, but Richemont did incredibly well in that festive period.
Yeah, it really did. I don't want to speak too soon, but it could be a really good quarter for their luxury sector. But at least, as you said, it's been a really good quarter for Richemont, and reported sales way ahead of estimates. And that was despite expectations being actually already really high and the comparatives being also quite tough. And this was thanks in particular to the popularity of Cartier jewelry, which is seeing a big boost at the moment from the likes of Taylor Swift and Timothée Chalamet wearing those bracelets and watches and really boosting that popularity. And we saw sales of Cartier really strong over that Christmas season, and those very positive results at Richemont also drove the rest of their luxury sector higher this morning. We saw Burberry moving higher, LVMH as well, carrying all of those names because this is seen as a sign that there is maybe a recovery happening here. And we saw already some early signs of that at the previous earnings season, if we can remember that far back. And LVMH and Kering was saying at the time that demand was rebounding in the US and in China. And a continuation of that trend for this season would signal that the sector has actually weathered the worst of that downturn. It is worth noting that Richemont is not necessarily representative of the entire sector. It sells primarily jewelry, and that is often viewed as a better kind of store of value than leather goods. So it has been doing better more generally, but it seems that this is still quite encouraging for Richemont and the sector as a whole.
We have to keep across the fashionistas, don't we? Chalamet has been seen wearing a Cartier Panthère necklace. So that's the kind of hot thing. And also, of course, he won at the Golden Globes. So I just want to, in case you're not across the latest A-list. So I'm sure you are. I think I was more addressing that maybe to the listeners out there. Anyway, tech, significant leap for ASML, and this perhaps powered by TSMC. What's behind the gains?
Yeah, ASML gained a lot this morning, and the market value reached more than $500 billion, and that's all thanks to the very upbeat outlook from TSMC, as you mentioned. So TSMC is, of course, a bellwether for the semiconductor industry, and therefore this artificial intelligence boom. And it reported better than expected profit and earmarked more than expected as well in capital spending for 2026. So that signals really strong AI demand going into this year, and also shows that TSMC is very confident that the AI boom will continue in 2026, and that is despite those concerns that are still relevant around the sustainability of spending on data centers. And these results have led chip makers and chip making equipment stocks much higher this morning in Europe, and in particular ASML is doing well because it is a big supplier to TSMC. So it's been a very good day today for that tech sector in Europe for sure.
Yeah, maybe a clean sweep then this morning, because Swedbank investors also thinking about this lender, and we're seeing gains. Why?
Yeah, so the US Department of Justice closed a money laundering investigation into Swedbank, and they didn't take any enforcement action. So this investigation had to do with Swedbank's handling of anti-money laundering controls in its Baltic operations. And this decision from the DOJ brings a 7-year probe closer to an end, and it's a really positive outcome for Swedbank, of course, because it's now facing no penalties, and that might mean more excess capital that it can return to shareholders. And of course, we know how much investors like getting their shareholder returns, and that explains why the stock moves so strongly today, all the way to a record high, actually. There is another investigation ongoing from the New York Department of Financial Services, and so Swedbank might choose to kind of hold back on that capital distribution until that is done. But regardless, this is a definite positive for the bank, and allows it to kind of move on from this long probe.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.